All right. Good evening, everybody. This is the CSRN weekly podcast, our video minutes, as we used to call it back in the day, but it's a podcast right now. And listen, I'm going to do a soft start. I've got with me my brother, Teron Cunningham, who you're going to hear about later on. That's a dope shirt that you got on. So you already know what it is. So what we're going to do, family, we are going to put, let's see if they can do this right this time. I've got the tech team working for me today. We're going to put 5 minutes. That'll give everyone an opportunity to join in the podcast. If you're in the chat, put something in the chat. Let us know that you're watching. Hey, let's put that 5 minutes up. All right, let's start it out. Maybe have some music to go along with that. All right, this is the CSRN Video Minutes. It's our weekly podcast. This is live, so it's a great chance that we're going to make some mistakes, and I got at least 2 mistakes left. All right, so I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I use the pronoun he and him. Look, 7 years ago, Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bey had this idea that you could speak truth to power. You don't necessarily have to be a politician, pastor, or professor to say what you need to say in order to effect change. And here we are 7 years later. And today I have on my purple shirt. I've got my chakra beads on right there. My glasses by Optical, Twix in between. So if you find our sister Christian Moncrief, she drives the Optical bus, flag her down. Let her know that you want some new glasses and she'll set you up at a reasonable price. Let her know that you should get the Brother Washington discount. I don't know what that is, but it's got to be lower than what I paid for mine. Hey, shout out to Sister Christian. And as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. This is the home of Black Lives Matter and Justice or Else. Look, yep, we are going to get to Terod in a second. I know people saying, hey, why is he sitting there? Come on, hold on now. All right, let me finish my thing. We're going to roll with our mission statement, our guiding principles. Those are the things that keep us stable, it keeps us strong, and it keeps us independent. So our mission statement, we are the Community Solidarity Response Network, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer of Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often police brutality goes without consequence and without accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive community-based events that help to foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of creed, class, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And that's a quote by our brother, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. What we're going to read next, and then we're going to take a short break. You okay?
I'm great.
All right, awesome. We're going to read our guiding principles. These are the things that, well, we adopted these from the Movement for Black Lives in September of 2015. This was right before the Justice or Else, the 20-year anniversary of the Million Man March. And at this conference, it was predominantly organized by those under 40. So it was just young people. And they had these set of principles that allowed everyone to have a space at this conference. And we made some changes to make it fit us locally. These are our CSRN guiding principles. And after each principle, I'm going to say Ashe. And Ashe means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. All Black lives matter. Queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, differently abled Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe, and you would say Ashe. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe. Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe. Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe. Principled struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe. Love, self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe. 360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe. Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe. The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe. Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow, and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe. Those are our guiding principles. Teron, that is what really has kept us here from 2014 to now. Most times when you see grassroots organizations, we're here today, we're going tomorrow because we have no mission statement and no rules that can prevent one person from taking over. Hey, look, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come right back. This is the CSRN weekly podcast, our video minutes. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent, and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN, our weekly podcast. And today I have with me my brother, Teron Cunningham. Looks like I've already introduced him, but here's how we do it. You introduce yourself, your pronoun, and what you have on, because everyone may not have the opportunity to to watch this.
Sure.
Some may be sight impaired, or they may just want to listen to it on Spotify.
Yeah,
all right?
sure.
So we're going to load this and upload it to all of our platforms. So however you want to listen to it. So who are you?
Yeah.
Man, what do you have on?
Sure thing. Very much so. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad and CSRN for inviting me here to speak on your podcast. I am Teron Cunningham. I'm an urban developer, planner. I work with a municipal government in Ohio, and I'm out today helping to educate, mobilize, register voters for the upcoming election, August 2nd. We were able to meet with CSRN. Thank you so much graciously again for the community health and wellness event that we had on Juneteenth. We actually occupied a booth there and were able to register voters during that event. And we want to continue to get the message out. Today is the last day to register to vote to be eligible for the August 2nd primary. Therefore, the Board of Elections, their office, it's closed now, so you wouldn't have opportunity in order to participate if you were not registered to exercise your constitutional right, your state right, in order to vote in this election. So we'll be talking more about what we're doing to now switch from voter registration to get out the vote.
That's right.
Over these next 30 days. Early vote starts tomorrow morning at the one stop that's at Sylvania, 3737 West Sylvania is where the Board of Election is. And so you'll be able to go there and start voting in person for early vote. And we'll talk about that also, Mr. Washington.
All right. Also, for those who may not see, this is a handsome guy. All right, man. And I told him over the weekend, brother, you got a terrific smile. All right. What are you wearing?
And the apparel that I have on, it's Toledo Dope. It's a young local artist who has a shop on West Sylvania in my neighborhood. And it has the words Toledo Dope with the TOLE in red, then dope all black with the flame of the, similar to what they may look at as the Olympic torch. And we're representing Toledo Dope, young entrepreneurs, business owners who has a product and that represents Northwest Ohio. I'm for it. Toledo Dope.
Hey, Toledo Dope. I think that's worth a T-shirt to come our way. All right. But okay. Listen, with everything that's happened with what's happened at the Supreme Court, what's happened with a lot of voter apathy, man, why should people even care to vote now? Because I hear that a lot. Hey, Brother Washington, why should I vote? My vote doesn't even count. And I'm like, man, you need to listen to Teron. All right, next week. So how would you answer that question?
Yeah, sure. Because of people's vested interests in our democracy, as you just shared a couple of anecdotes of what's happened at the Supreme Court. Are you alluding and referring to the overturning of Roe v. Wade?
Absolutely.
So because of the Dodd versus Jackson Supreme Court case, now here in America, something that was a fundamental bedrock part of our Constitution and practice, that decision has been overturned. And now we have to go back to the states, and each state is taking on the matter of women's reproductive rights, women's issues, and Ohio, it will be faced with just the same. You would have to find out what your vested interest is. What do you care about? What do you love? What are you willing to put on the line in order to promote, defend democracy? You see what has happened in our country with the January 6th events and the hearings that's going on now. That's the type of information, that's the type of backlash that you have to identify and find what is the meaningful channel that I can exercise my rights if you don't exercise those rights can be taken from you. So if you ask persons who's felons, who's locked up, incarcerated,
Right.
then those rights, they have been taken from them. And that's a patchwork across the country as to what your vested rights are, what your vested interests are, finding out what's important for you, what do you love, and what's connected to the things that you want to do in your life.
All right. Now, my next question is, we've got some primaries coming up, and particularly for the state. And I manage a voting site, so every election I get a chance to see people coming out or the lack of people coming out. Why should people even care about this election that's coming up in August?
Right. So for the August primary, part of the backlash, as I shared with the Roe v. Wade, Dodd v. Jackson decision, is that issues are coming back to the state. Here in Northwest Ohio, we have all new candidates that will be running for those issues that's coming back to the state of Ohio. For example, there's no incumbents that's running in Northwest Ohio, only one incumbent, and the others, they're new candidates. So therefore,
Wow.
You want to have some input as to who those candidates are that's going to be addressing what Ohio's women's reproductive rights will be like. You want to address and help vote for the candidates that's going to be taken over in the state Senate, which is on the August 2nd primary. There's other special elections, but those state representative and state Senate seats, those are items that voters will be voting on, and new candidates that you can vet, and you can find out more information as you continue to go to wherever your local readings, periodicals, wherever you're consuming news about these individuals as to who's going to be representing you at the state level. It's a direct influence and a direct input that you have if you care about what your voting rights are. Right here in Ohio, here's a new opportunity for you to do just that, have a decision on state representative and state Senate seats.
So that means that if you're already registered, hey, family, we got to get out to vote. I know that there's a lot of apathy regarding if your vote counts or why am I voting anyway? Listen, this is the time. All right, and if you vote Democratic for the Democratic Party, we got an opportunity to do some rebuilding. All right, there's a lot of bums that we need to throw out because they've done absolutely nothing. But there's going to be some new blood too. So we're going to hope to maybe bring some of them on the podcast soon. You know, if they make it through the primary, to talk about their way forward. That leads me to the next thing that I want to talk to you about is language. What should we want to hear from our candidates that can speak to what we need?
Sure. And part of that, it's first identifying what it is that you need.
That's what's up.
You have to determine, one, what your vision is, what your goals are, how are you connected to the political apparatus in your area? Do I only vote? Do I not vote? Am I a conscientious objector to not to participate? There's other means other than voting. However, voting, it's an equal opportunity for the majority of Americans to participate in. And we're still getting those apathetic low numbers.
Yep.
We're not breaking over 75% in our country as voters. How can we continue to provide more access for voters? Other means that you can participate in, it's lobbying, it's giving donations to these candidates,
Right.
It's showing up at a forum, it's helping to volunteer. This is your civic duty, your civic participation, and there's multiple means for you to participate in our democracy other than voting. Some persons, because they have lost the privilege, lost the right to vote, now they have to exercise other means. But
Right.
There's a multitude of ways that you can participate in our democracy other than voting. Part of hearing what it is and what your vision is on how you are connected for the political process. It's these civic organizations, your local NAACP, getting and joining and being involved with
That's right.
one of your urban league organizations, being involved with CSRN, being involved with some of the foundations. Those are areas where you're exercising and you're saying that there is a stake for me, and I see a future that this political apparatus can help, can enhance, and can help protect my rights and my goals of what I like to see accomplished. Identify what your vision is, kind of know what the multitude of ranges of how you can participate in our democracy, and coalesce around organizations, these groups that's out there, that's involved, that's activists, that carry some of the causes you care about. If it's women's rights issues, if it's economic justice, you have to identify that. If it's business ownership, there's groups, cliques. That's part of how you can exercise the range of ways that you participate in our democracy, Mr. Washington.
All right, thanks. Hey, listen, family. Hey, we're going to come back, and I want to ask you the question: how did you even get in? How did you get involved? Because you're asking everybody else to get involved. All right, so we're going to put you on the hot seat. But also, when we come back, we've got our brother from Colorado Correctional Institution that he calls every week to give us the heads up on what's happening in the belly of the beast. So we're going to take a short break. We're going to come right back. This is the CSRN, our weekly podcast, or we call it our video minutes. We'll be right back.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
Hey, we are back. This is the CSRN Video Minutes, our weekly podcast. Who I have with me today is our brother Omar Gent. Hey, brother, how you feeling? All right, looks like we got some good sound going on. Hey, listen, for the people who have no idea who you are, because many people will be streaming this for their first time and they had no idea that you existed or your website existed. We're going to put that up soon. Who are you and why are you still in the fight?
Okay, my name is Omar Jeremy Gent, and thank you for bringing me on this podcast and for this fight for the people. In all humility, I'm on this mission to expose the injustice of the Colorado criminal justice system as explained on my website, bringoutbrothers.com. That's bringoutbrothers.com. So everybody, please check that out. I'm just here to alert the people about what's going on. I'm in this fight because good brothers like you and the people that put together this podcast help to encourage my spirit, and the people that's listening as well help to encourage me and motivate me to bring the truth to my brothers. So I must do that.
All right, now when we open up, we have our guiding principles, and we talk about self-care. Well, you sound great. And I've got people on the outside, and I got to get them motivated, all right? You got me hyped today. What do you do for self-care? I know as a former confined citizen, it's not three hots in a cot, all right? There's a lot of things that happen behind bars, and a lot of us lose it. What do you do to keep yourself balanced that you can call weekly and give a good word for us? What do you do for self-care, brother?
Well, first and foremost, each and every day that I wake up, I have to be in tune with the Creator, to make sure I self-care because, He knows everything about me and everyone. So I have to humble myself and accept the instructions that's coming, and make sure I open up that the Bible and the Quran, and especially the Final Call newspaper. It helps me to get that intellectual this clarity in this purpose, when I'm taking all these lessons and these blessings. Also, I watch my diet, my mental diet, my spiritual
All right. Hey, listen, yesterday was the 4th of July, so my whole timeline was lit up with either I'm glad we free or whose fourth is it? All right. Either way, all right. I don't get into that, but I already know what it is. Um, man, brother, what is your take on the phenomenon of the 4th of July and how do you process that?
Well, my brother, first of all, they say Independence Day, and then, recently on the TV, I saw a brother out there in your area that was, shot down 60 times by the police. So if we're free, these things are constantly happening again and again, and it's sad for me to say that it's going to be another situation like that, where there's freedom, justice, and equality come in, where there's safety and security of these black people come in. I think that they're given to us by the country is so-called free. For me, my Independence Day, like I was sharing with a good brother who's sitting by and listening in, he want to hear, how we conduct this podcast. Commemorate the independence of thought and action. I have to be free in my mind to make decisions to stay on course so I can work with you, so I can work with myself and help to liberate the people. So that's my Independence Day. Not be controlled by the forces that want me to be subservient. I want to bring my soul and spirit into embody the legacy of the great ancestors that walk for freedom and justice and equality and never give up.
All right, now I should be taking, Teron, I should be taking notes, all right?
I am.
Right. All right, so you hadn't always been in this space that you can speak like that. What happened to change Jeremy to Omar? What took place? No. What took place? I always love to hear everyone's origin story. And right after this call, we're going to put our brother Teron on the hot seat because he comes and this brother's well versed in what we need to do politically. And I'm still wondering why isn't he running for office? All right, but we'll get to that at another time. But I'm going to ask him, where did he get his start? What changed him? So I wanted to ask you, all right, when did you make that transition in being able to think about the things that you're thinking about and say the things in the way that you're saying them? When did that happen, brother?
Well, it's been a team effort. The legacy of my mother, she always, planted, this spirituality in me, the quest to get better and to keep fighting. Even though she passed away, she's still here. To be humble, about this situation and run into a brick wall and to realize that look around me at the people that's suffering around me and realize that I gotta make a stand. That changed me to realize that it can't just be about me. I just can't be self-centered. I have to look at and think about the youth, the men around me, the women, the children, it's everybody, That changed me reading up that Chronicle newspaper. That definitely changed me to look at the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's stance and read about, the life of Muhammad and struggle, his lessons that go through my spirit and give me more strength, power, and clarity. And basically, just listening to the Creator, I never go wrong. Listening to him, he tells me sometimes, shut up, stay still, do this, do that, and I never go wrong. So that changes me as well. Listen to that still, small voice. Sometimes it means a loud voice.
Yes, sir.
That's all we hear. But that's beautiful, my brother.
All right. Oh, beautiful. Hey, listen, we're going to put your website on the screen right here, freeourbrothers.com. For the people that are watching this for the first time and some of the people that have seen it before, why freeourbrothers.com and why now?
Well, the name came up. My brother, I started a letter writing campaign long before I had the website. I was supposed to work with other brothers around me. It was supposed to be a campaign with several brothers who were incarcerated just like me, but for whatever reason, their family didn't get behind it. So we just kept the name. It's not just about, black men. It's about the women as well, and children. It's about everyone. But we just kept the name and basically decided to bring attention forward to the public and exposing the railroading of our people, how they do that. And it's
All right, and right now we scrolled down your website to the point where it says "Stop Illegal Imprisonment in Colorado." That's a lot because that's the whole state. You're not just talking about one prison. You're talking about the whole state. What type of pushback have you received for striving to make this happen?
Well, see, the thing about Colorado is because we don't have a strong black presence like in other states where you have, like the Nation of Islam, you have the Black Panthers, the African Black Panthers, you got various different groups. I haven't really experienced, what I call in your face pushback, like, plotting threats or being thrown in the hole just for having reading certain materials. But everything is behind the scenes, cutting off the phone calls, withholding mail at times. It's various, I call throwing a rock and hiding their head type.
Yes, sir.
I think they feel that the easiest way to make me feel that I'm losing my mind as far as my legal stance is just leave me alone. But they're always watching and monitoring, and I'm very aware of that. So I'm in a position where I haven't had that, fortunately, I haven't had that physical, retaliation, that's something that a person has experienced, but it's there. I feel it and I see it. I'm very aware of it.
Right. Right now we have something going on at the Toledo Correctional Institution. So for any of the families that's watching this, and also for some of the people that work there, there's been some there's been some hunger strikes and some work stoppages, and we support hunger strikes. I also support work stoppage in order for us to be treated humane while we're there. And as I said, I'm a former confined citizen, and I wasn't wrongly in prison. I did what I did, However, I'm doing my time, all right? And I should be treated like a human being. And all of our brothers that are still struggling for justice at TCI, what would you say, Brother Omar, from one confined citizen to our brothers here? What would you say to them to help them hold the line while they're on their hunger strikes and while they're on their work stoppages?
I want to say to the brothers and sisters that's listening, please don't isolate yourself from the brothers that's in there, because regardless of the crime that they're accused of, these are still fathers, uncles, friends, they're human beings, like you said, and so often the enemy of the rise are people that rely on the treatment, or I'm going to say how prisoners are isolated, ignored, and it's written off as lost causes by our community. So regardless of what brothers are accused of, please think of the overall picture about how they're there fighting for equality, and how as black people or original people, we're all in prison in America.
That's right. That's right.
To the brothers that realize that God is with you. He's always with you. He's close to your own jugular vein. He fights for those who fight for justice, for freedom and equality. Each test, he will never fail you. No matter what, he never fail you. He'll always be with you. And to the family that say, don't fight alone. Organize together. Talk to each other. Console each other, even in your bad and your saddest moments. Take a little time to self-care, come together. You realize you're fighting the same fight. You need each other. Organize, use your platform. You need to meet. You'll see that starts back down.
Right. And also depending upon what's happening will determine which type of lift that we're going to use. We might start with a letter writing campaign. We may start with inundate their phone service. All right. We may start with, we may elevate it to email, and then we may elevate it to let's go there in person. All right. We'll stand outside the gate. But whatever it takes, but we got to stay united. My last question for you, and thank you for taking these questions, and trust it does make a difference for us out here listening. It's not every day they get a chance to hear someone that's there. Most times they hear us reading your letters, which I would love to do at one point. All right. My last question to you, how important is attitude? Because right now it does seem like your attitude is balanced. Your tone is right there. How important is attitude while we're fighting this fight?
It's everything. I mean, all thought starts with, all action starts with your thought and your attitude determines what direction you're going to go in. You're going in, or you're going to keep going. And also, as the brother that's sitting right next to me, he brought me a beautiful coloring book that he put together with his words, illustrating, showing a black child that father was taking out his life due to gang violence. And he's using his words and his inspirational message to give the kids a beautiful attitude about themselves, the children a beautiful attitude so they can stand up. And that inspired my attitude. It got me more hyped up.
Yes, sir.
So attitude and inspiration goes hand in hand. And we may have times when we're sad and we're down. That's when we can lean on to the Creator, take some time to self-care, take a step back sometimes, and then come together and get around that positive family and encourage one another, because the enemy wants us to be down and downtrodden, but we have to stand up for each other and keep fighting.
All right. Hey, listen, brother, it looks like we come to the end of this discussion before that timer comes in, and I want to get us off before that timer comes in. Hey, listen, brother, how can we reach you on Instagram? What's your handle on Instagram? What's your handle on Twitter?
Instagram at Free Our Brothers. Instagram at Free Our Brothers. Please follow me. That's why I do most of the posts at Instagram at Free Our Brothers.
All right.
Twitter at Free Our Brothers as well. And the email is freourbrothers1@gmail.com. freourbrothers1, the number 1. I spelled out, but number 1 @gmail.com. Thank you all for this beautiful platform, for listening. And revolutionary greetings. It shows up.
Shows up, brother. Thank you so much. Hey, listen, family, that's our brother, Walaikum Salam. That's our brother Omar Gent, calling all the way from Colorado. That brother has enough attitude and mood for all of us. Hey, Brother Tron, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back and find out, brother, how did you get started? When did you become the Tehran that we know now? So just hang tight. This is the CSRN Video Minutes, our weekly podcast. We'll be right back.
Did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color and many people's lives. Wasian Wellness Recovery Support Center offers culturally relevant inpatient and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober-safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone or schedule an appointment.
Hey, we are back. This is the CSRN, our weekly video minutes. We call it a podcast now because it's not video minutes, but, well, it is what it is. Hey, listen, today I've got my brother Tehran Cunningham. He's talking about voter registration, voter indication, and how we can get active, all right, and really better educated. All right, so I know you haven't always been this person, all right?
Sure.
When I met you, you were smart, all right? So it ain't like me, what people know me from back in the day. Listen, when did you make that turn to want to educate people on not only voting rights, but voter registration and voter information? When did that happen?
Sure, yeah. It happened for me as a sophomore at Jessup W. Scott High School. I ran for class president off of the advice of one of my good friends, and I actually won that election. And that's when I felt the power of the vote.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
so since I won that class election, and then I went on until we graduated from Jessup W. Scott High in 1997. This year, I'm celebrating my 25th year anniversary.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Of reunion, class reunion.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Jessup W. Scott High.
Okay,
And the power of the vote.
I think that you said Jessup W. Scott enough, so they all need a Bulldog T-shirt or something. All right.
They'll get it over to CSRN. And then I start seeing the effect that voting not only have at that earlier stage, but then I saw the effect that it had when I came back to Toledo after graduating from the University of Cincinnati, and we were able to put a citizen levy on the ballot in order to expand in 2008 to expand what the citizens had voted for in 2000 for the Toledo Public School tobacco money. That type of input we were able to get right back and see that those fundamental education, the power of the vote, not only in school and class, but being a student leader, it teaches you that these are civic involvement and civic engagement. So don't bear your yoke and waiting for other people. You're a leader now. So be a leader now and start to take action. As you were sharing with Brother Omar also, if you read Psalms 99, it's God loves justice. He loves righteousness, and he will be able to provide that way for you. So those early fundamental years, Mr. Washington, showed me the power of the vote, and then being able to implement it and helping to increase the minimum wage here in Ohio back in 2006 for that increase that was indexed to the inflation, which it outpaced the inflation even now. Thank goodness Ohio just did get another minimum wage for, it's about $9.25 now here in Ohio, but yet the federal minimum wage, it's $7.25 still. These are the issues that impact people, where if you're in the fight for 15, that to have a living wage, even that living wage at $15 an hour, it's still not being able to put a roof over your head. It's indignant that we in America can work 40 plus hours and still be living in poverty. We need to do something else with our political power.
Now, my next question for you is about our youth. I think that right now, if you're 17 years old, you can vote. All right, you can get registered to vote. But why is it important for young people to get out, get educated, and get involved in this process?
Sure. Because of here in Ohio, you can be 17 as long as you're 18 on November 8th or prior. You can register to vote. November 8th is our election, and you have to be 18 on election day. It's important for you to exercise your vote and to get engaged in your community, because this is where you're formulating your thoughts, your concept, your creativity of how you view the world and the impact that you have from creation to whatever your talent is. You're giving that, you're sharing that with the world, and the world needs to hear more of the Jayton Jeffersons of Toledo. They need to hear and see more of our youth, not wait for permission from anybody. When you talent, when you gift it, you share it and you give that to the world. And you never know, as you're performing your gift, sharing your talent, rather it's in academics, rather it's in dance, rather it's in sports, you're contributing in a significant, mighty way to what the world will do and how the world will actually respond to that gift. So let it make room for you. Always find out your purpose, find out your gift, and do it.
All right, now, unfortunately, there's some stigma attached to Black excellence. You know, when you find your skill, others might criticize you for, not wanting to be like everyone else. What do you say to those young people that want to be the next Tehran? All right, that if they get hassled or ridiculed, what do you say to those young people?
Sure thing. Those old stereotypes, tropes, washed away.
Teach.
You create a new pathway. When you're gifted, when you're talented, you accept and you embrace it. You nurture around the adults, the supervision who's there with you in your life. However, God gave you that talent. God gave you that gift. So you have to walk into that power. You got to walk into that anointing. You have to be humble as you continue to do it. However, Black excellence, par anything and anyone, you exceed. Nothing. Don't let anything snuff out. Don't let anything damper. Don't dim your light. You shine bright right where you are. And you only look as Christ. He used the disciples as examples, but not to be like. Those are examples. We have bigger dreams to go after.
That's
we
right.
have bigger horizons to go see. So you look and you can see how people pattern and get some advice.
Yeah.
But your talent, your skill, your brain power, we need it. And you need to give that to the world. So Black excellence, embrace it, accept it. Look at other people as examples, get advice, be humble, but be you and be dope, be live at it.
All right. Hey, listen, I got to say this. I love the way that you used faith to help project you where you need to be. And for our family that's listening, this is a spiritual battle, that we're fighting right now. And we've got to have, it will be wise to have some level of a moral center whenever you're trying to execute any of your gifts. That way, brothers and sisters, you're able to benefit from it, and others can benefit from it too. Look, in what we do, we don't just protest just to have a bullhorn. All right, this comes from a special place. All right. We're talking calm now, but we're still bringing it, all right, just in case we need to, but it comes from a good place.
That's love.
Right.
That's the love that Mr. Omar has to have, the love for yourself that you have to have. All things have to filter based on where you are in your faith. But once you identify what your purpose is, let it filter through whatever your screening is,
That's right.
whatever your next goal is. Let that be a center to gauge you, a compass, so that it can navigate you in order to say that I have something greater than my being that can get me to that next place. And that's hope. Whatever it is for you, it's hope. And we got to cling on to hope. You can't continue to only be angry. You got to take anger into policy. You got to take anger into the streets. You got to take anger to the powers that be, so that you can continue to affect change and not just be angry, irate, and you're losing your mental health. That's not good. No, that does no good for no one.
That's right.
So stay balanced, stay focused. For me, it's my faith in Jesus Christ and God is my faith. For others, it's something else, someone else. However, you got to have that faith to keep you grounded, keep you focused, and to give your gifts and talents in a meaningful way that you're impacting the world, society, your family, your friends.
All right. There's, before we log off here, because we're getting close to the 7:00 hour, my friend Carter Thomas from Good Company Christian Counseling, because family, we need help. All right. For those who are struggling right now, log on to Black Clinicians of Toledo. You'll find our brother Carter Thomas from Good Company Christian Counseling. Also, you'll find others that are out there that are willing to help, especially in this dark time when a lot of us are just getting out of the pandemic, but we're going into something else. So along with our faith, God also sends clinicians. He also
Very
sends
much so.
He also sends therapists and counselors too. All right, so be ready to allow God to show up in your life and whom he chooses to send. Maybe Tehran. All right, and I believe that the God He communicates to us through human beings. All right.
Okay.
So I might not be waiting for Charlton Heston, all right, from the 60s. Might be waiting for Tehran, all right? So don't be surprised if God shows up as a black man,
That's
a
it.
young man, or one of our sisters. Hey, look, we're getting into that, all right, but it's still all Black Lives Matter. It's still justice or else. Hey, look, we're going to take a short break. Then we're going to do I'm going to tie up some loose ends. We're going to close out. This is the CSRN Video Minutes, our weekly podcast. We'll be right back.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
All right, we are back. We're back. This is the CSRN Video Minutes. We're going to just top some loose ends, and then we're going to bring up what we call 5 minutes of heat. I see our brother, our treasurer, Jody Summers, has just joined us in the green room. And for Jody, if you're in the green room, you know there's some Grippos and some ginger ale, some Vernors. Don't touch that. All right, that's mine. All right. So we're going to bring Jody up. And my loose ends for today is regarding Akron and all of our comrades in Akron that's getting out in the streets and making it happen. Much love and respect to you. And for our families in Chicago that are, that survived that terrorist attack, we can see how some get taken in alive. All right. But if I'm trying to get from A to B, I've got 60 bullets in me. You got to make that make sense. And I don't think that you can. CSRN is going to be having a statement, be it digital or online, or we're going to pop up somewhere. Stay tuned for that, family. But before we do that, I want to close out with our 5 minutes of heat. And then, Teron, if you've got some last words, then we're going to close out with our solidarity pledge. Man, it's been an awesome podcast. Hey, let me bring Jody in. Let's see if we get our brother in. Hey, what's up, Jody?
Hey.
All right. Hey, listen, bro. All right. Hey, listen, for everybody that's watching right now, could you introduce yourself? What are you wearing? And brother, why are you still in the fight?
What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth. Actually, I'm here at home. Got off a little early, came home, so still got some recording to do and everything like that. Processing question, why am I still in the fight? Because there's still a fight, to no one. That's been my motto since the day I was born. And the doctor slapped me and said, you know, I mean, that's a different story. But for the people out there listening and stuff like that, I'm the treasurer of this wonderful organization. If you are just listening, I am a big brown skinned bear of a man that is covered in tattoos and crystals and wristbands and artifacts and fossils. And yes, fossils and all that stuff is hanging around my neck. Um, and the clothing that I'm wearing right now currently is a shirt from the Zombie Crawl 2017, back when I was volunteering before I was actually board member. Shout out to everybody that came through Block Party. That was an experience in itself. The hat that I'm wearing is my own artwork brand because I decided to turn it into clothing because I got tired of, you know, waiting on people to get stuff done. So, hey, I brand myself.
That's right. That's what
And Chicago is interesting. I think I just seen it because I'm not online. I post. I try and encourage people that I'm off. I've watched TV in over 20 years, newspapers or anything like that. I make the paper, but other than if it's not something we're doing involved with the community, I don't have time for trauma anymore. I will
Oh,
help you, but I will not hurt myself in the process.
oh, okay. All right. All right. Tell us how you really feel. All right. Hey, listen, when it comes to 5 minutes of heat, man, what
I
do you
mean,
have?
you got time. You ain't just got to try and get rid of me that quick. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if y'all heard me okay.
I heard you. I heard you just fine.
Y'all might be. Oh, okay. Um, well, no, loose ends, stuff like that before 5 minutes heat, because I do have a whole set with everything that happens in this country. I've been doing poetry for 7 years, going on 8, artwork for 6 or 5, going on 7. And my life is my art, my creations. Now, y'all can see it. Y'all see it when I do my videos and stuff like that. But yeah, that's me. There is no in between. The sacrifice is the sacrifice. Don't mind all that stuff on the couch. If you see that, I don't know what that is in the background. Okay, there we go.
All right.
See, the screen is tiny, but the piece that I'm going to be doing today is called Monopoly Money. It was from the 2020 set of 30 days of writing, but we'll get to that in a second. How are y'all feeling?
Oh, we're good. We're good. Doing just fine. We just finished talking to Brother Omar. Brother Tron is with us today discussing voter education, voter registration, and why we really need to get out the vote. So we have that going on, and we're about on our, on the downside of this podcast, and I'm glad that you joined in right now to take us home.
Yeah. So to the young brother sitting next to you, I'm not sure. It's a tiny little screen. I can't really see that much. I'm on my phone.
Okay.
I don't know who the brother is sitting to.
Yeah.
From my perspective, to the right of you.
Okay.
I see a smile though.
Yeah, this is Teron Cunningham. I've known this brother for quite some time, and he's been consistently excellent and brilliant at all that he does. And he joined us today to talk about the need for us, and particularly also young people, to get out and vote and get involved. And I've managed a voting location, and one of my passions is to get people to volunteer, get people to be a poll worker. I hear so many people complaining about the people that are working at the polls because most of them are older people. Most of them are people that may appear to have a diminished capacity. Well, if you're complaining, volunteer, sign up. You can change the landscape.
Yep.
If it's intimidation, then all of my former bouncers, hey, sign up. If you're concerned about voter fraud, well, all of my smart people join up. All right, that's what I did. I stopped that complaining myself once when I had went to vote, and it seemed like, wow, there's a lot of older people, and some people, I don't know if he know what he's doing. but it's easy to point out.
Yes, sir.
All right. But at one point, we got to accept the responsibility of our failure and our duty, and make a
Yep.
difference and step up. So I stepped up, and they made me the managing person at the Belief Center. So
Right.
for those of you that vote, and if the Belief Center is your location, we got that place locked down. All
Good.
right. We're not having
What it
it.
takes.
We're not having it. However you vote, you're gonna come in, and you're not gonna feel intimidated. You're not gonna feel discouraged. All right, we'll see to that.
Yes, sir.
And we took our oath that there's no fraud. We took an oath that everyone's going to be treated equally, regardless of how you vote. We
Beautiful.
just want you to be a part of the process. So if those of us that are in the activist community or protest culture, that's also part of the protest too. That's also part of the revolution too. And at one point, we are going to run our own candidates. At one point, we're going to financially support and exclusively support our own candidates. But it would be wise to know every part of it. Not only us going out and knocking on doors and having lit drops, but also being at the vote location and making sure that the young ladies, the older women, the young boys, the older men all have a space there. So shout out to everybody
Nice.
that volunteer. So
Even the observers. I want them to be able to observe and not
yeah,
feel threatened or having to make up something. Because a little transparency, I'm a twice elected official and a voting official. My location is Wake, and we've never really had any problems. We switched the doors election before last, I believe it was, because it wasn't handicap accessible, and we listened to the public and made sure that it's a lot more accessible. I love my voters. My voters kind of that's why I ran for. Well, I guess I didn't really run for office. It was a unopened position because that's the problem. Again, I believe I've said it on the news a couple times. We had all these marches, all these protests, all these people angry. But if a third of you, one third, came out and actually did the whole process, we would have a lot of people out of office right now.
right.
It's true.
All right. Hey, look, it is 7:12, and this library closes up soon. Hey, listen, I need to get it in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Because we did move to like location E.
Yeah.
So,
We
I keep getting it.
love our Mott Library family, Mott Conda, and shout out to Lucas County Library for making this happen. All right, and this is our. Hey, we ain't hard to find. You could pop up here too if you want. I'll be in the parking lot in a minute. So we still outside. All right,
Red Washington.
a little bit better digs today.
Awesome.
All right, hey, Jody.
All right.
One of the things that we'll do, family, if you're watching this for the first time or if you're streaming this, the way we close out is not just by adjourning. And we've got creative expression, and we've got one of the top spoken word artists in the city that's with us. That's Jay Summers, Child of the System, Spoken Truth, all of those names and much more. And we have what we call 5 minutes of heat. All right? That's how we, yep. So what do we have today, brother?
So today, for everybody, we have a piece called Monopoly Money. It was the 29th piece in the 30 Days of Writing set 2019, when I actually completed all 30 days. So for the kind ears of all the people we just talked about, it's true. I know the work is from the inside out. So that's what I put in my work. So let's begin. Peace. Monopoly Money. I've convinced everyone on the entire planet that without my organizational infrastructure, your life, yes, your life is anarchy. You will trust me with every aspect of your life, Donate your generational wealth to me so that I will provide the stamp of approval on everything you ingest. Allow me to create, manipulate, and dictate the well-being of your mental state. Believe whatever history I put in my books to fill your children up with the only truth that I feel needs to be told. Dismiss whatever atrocities I use to take control of the land, yes, the land you call home. Fight over religion, spirituality, race, background, age, resources, and whatever device I use to keep the population complacent. While the 1% are given freedom to steal your genetic code, modify the food supply, track every move you make, their budget on the children who have not yet been born. And if you dare defy me, I have more correctional facilities built than any other place on the planet to strip away your families of everything that a successful united front should have. I am your government. Without me, you are nothing. In peace.
All right, and as always, we snap our fingers and we clap your hands. All right. Hey, listen, before we close out, any last words, brother?
Thank you very much, CSRN. Thank you very much, Brother Muhammad, for having me here today and sharing this amazing platform that you have. Glad to be a part with Jay Summers, Mr. Omar. For all of you who want to get engaged, to help educate, to help register voters, we're going to be meeting and organizing this Thursday, July the 7th. We'll be at the Canaan Outreach Center, It's at 1333 Western Avenue, right on the corner of Western and Spencer Avenue. If you want to organize, get engaged, help us register people to vote, help us enjoy some of these summer activities and festivities,
awesome.
And go into the community, into the streets where the people are, meeting people where they are, answering their questions and finding out what do they care about: living wage, minimum wage, increasing wages, workplace protection. These are the organizers and political persons that'll be meeting this Thursday on July the 7th between 4 to 6 p.m. Anytime between those 2 hours, drop in and see us at the Canaan Community Outreach Center.
All right, hey, isn't that Bishop Randall Parker III?
Yes, that is part of the Canaan Manifested Word Church Outreach Center. It is part of their vision and their mission. And Mr. Easter, who took care of us. I thank you very much.
Yes,
appreciate the space. We'll be organizing there this Thursday, 4 to 6 p.m.
No church.
Right, that's a beautiful brother that has a church there. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's on our school board too. All right, so beautiful job, Bishop Randall. I try my best to look at his posts, and then I say, hey, look, that's church for me, all right? I ain't got to go to Sunday, all right?
Love it.
I got church early for my brother. And a big shout out also, yesterday, one of the little known facts is also July 4th is the 92-year anniversary of the Nation of Islam. Was founded on July 4th, 1930. I've been a card-carrying, active and registered member since 1991. And big shout out to Muhammad's Mosque number 91 and all the brothers and sisters that helped make Brother Washington. Without that training and without all of the study and techniques, brother, y'all would see a babbling fool right here. All right. So shout out to all of us that make this thing happen.
Beautiful.
What we're going to do right now for our in-studio audience, we're going to do our solidarity pledge. I'm going to say I, and you say I, and repeat after me. And this is our verbal contract to ourselves that we recite every meeting. Let's get it. Say I. Oh, you say I too.
I.
All right, you say. Let's try that again, because our studio audience, they were looking at me like, "Do I say I?" Yeah, you say I. All right. Say I. Okay. All right. I don't know.
I.
I'm trying to. I think I may have to say, Teron, can you put your earphones on? All right. Engage. Okay. All
It's
right.
a call and response. I do understand that, but what it is, I'm about to say, I have reservations, so I'm not going to participate in the call and response
All right.
without some foreknowledge of what it is.
Okay.
Okay. All right. That's smart. All right. But you'll see that you should have joined in. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Because I wouldn't have you say anything that would be anything that you would believe.
Awesome.
All right. But anyway, you ready, Jody?
Yep.
All right. Say I. I. Your name.
I.
Your name.
Jody.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To love my brothers and my sisters.
To love my brothers and my sisters.
As I love myself.
As I love myself.
I. Your name.
Jay Summers.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To improve myself.
To improve myself.
Spiritually.
Spiritually.
Mentally.
Mentally.
Morally.
Morally.
And physically.
And physically.
For the benefit of myself.
For the benefit of myself.
My family.
My family.
And my people.
And my people.
I. Your name.
Child of the system.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To be a part of the solution.
To be a part of the solution.
The process.
Okay.
And not the problem.
And not the problem.
I. Your name.
Spoken truth.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To give all that I can spare.
To give all that I can spare.
Of my time.
Of my time.
My strength.
My strength.
And energy.
And energy.
To achieve.
To achieve.
The above said.
The above said.
Thank you, Jody. And as always, all lives can't matter until Black lives matter. And Black lives can't matter until all Black lives matter. All right, justice or else?
All Black lives matter.
Justice or else? Peace.